I stood among an assembly of light. Rather, celestial beings made of light. Their forms ranged from humanoid silhouettes to monstrous shapes barely comprehensible by human minds, and they were all focused on me. They were furious at me. They shouldn't be. I helped those people. I saved their lives. They want to cast me out just because I betrayed them? I scream and defend my case. But they don't listen to me. They could have ended it, but I destroyed their chance by going behind their backs. An enormous winged figure shrouded in armored light touched his sword to my back. I screamed when the flames engulfed my shoulders. I jolted from the bed screaming, heart hammering against mine and gasping in cold sweat. It took me a moment to realize where I was. Alucard came rushing in, slamming the door wide open. "Are you okay?" His eyes alight like melted gold, and he clutched the hilt of his sword. His gaze darted around the room before his hackles lowered. "I am. I'm sorry." I sighed. "I had a nightmare. I didn't mean to scare you." "It's all right." He sat on the bed, hugging me when I wrapped my arms tightly around him. The nightmare scared me more than others because it felt like a living memory. "I'm here. You're safe." I wasn't embarrassed crying into his shoulder, feeling him stroke the back of my head. I could always count on him to be there. "Alucard, why are you armored up like a knight going into battle?" I noticed after I recollected myself. Alucard responded with a concerned look on his face. "Follow me." He led me onto the balcony. "Well, tell me, what do you see?" The answer was easy to spot. "I see a bad moon rising." I watched the moon turn dusky red, like the color of dried blood. "Trouble's on the way." I scratched my head. "It's a lunar eclipse, but I don't get why I have this ominous feeling tingling through my veins." "You are correct." Alucard nodded. "It's a total lunar eclipse, a blood moon. Night creatures draw their strength from the blood moon and are at their most powerful when it's at its fullest." Gulped. "Well, that's not good." "No, it isn't," Alucard mused. And the fact you can sense the malice in the air further supports my theory of your celestial past." I shivered from the memory of the nightmare. "Easy." "Come." Alucard turned with a swish of his cape. "I need your help fortifying the castle. Remember that ward you showed me from the Speaker's scrolls? I want you to cast it. I have faith you can do it." I blushed. "Thanks. I'll give it my best shot, Alucard. I've been practicing casting spells in the arena hold." I blinked, turning around and gazing southward. "What about Dynasty?" "Come again?" Alucard turned his head. "There's a village down south called Dynasty," I explained, watching the distant horizon. "There'll be an open target for the night creatures, and easy pickings. We're the closest place to it. We could help them." Alucard narrowed his brows. "Why not? Dynasty is 20 miles away. By the time we reach them, it will be sunrise, and the night creatures would have had their fill. Not to mention, we'd be an open target as well." Alucard explained. "I understand." I nodded. "But we can still help them. There's a spell that can be used remotely to ward off night creatures I can try with." "Joe," Alucard cut in sternly. "Distance spells take more energy. I won't have you siphoning your life force trying to attempt it. They'll have to fend for themselves." He saw the tension in my body and spoke in a softer tone. "I'm sorry, my dear. It's hard to accept, but we can't save everyone." I struggled with the notion, but nodded in reluctance, following him before taking a regretful look behind me at the dark horizon. "One day, I'll be strong enough to help you." Boy. The midnight sky bathed in eerie red as the blood moon rose to its zenith. Like a molten rock against the black, it was easy to see why many cultures took it as an ill omen. An evil aura crept throughout the air, not from the moon itself, but from the swarm of night creatures terrorizing the skies in great swarms, blocking the stars wherever they flew. "I hope this works," I murmured, clutching my glowing staff, wearing an armored dress. At Alucard's direction, I set up wards across key points of the castle, placing an enchanted marks on the locations he indicated, murmuring the spell in the Enochian language. I felt the ancient magic course through my veins like rivers, pouring from my mouth and fingertips. The symbols glowed, setting up invisible shields covering large portions throughout the castle. Well done. Alucard smiled proudly. Thanks, I blushed. That wasn't so hard. I like the sense of magic flowing through my body. Feels as natural as the blood running through my veins. Interesting, Alucard remarked before glaring at the skies. Go! Get inside the castle, he commanded, drawing his sword. Some of the night creatures are slipping through the cracks. Indeed, the ward deterred the vast majority of the night swarm from approaching the castle. It hovered around the towers like a vast starling swarm, but some noticed the openings the wards couldn't reach. I took cover, watching Alucard wield his sword and confront the creatures. I often forgot the nature of my host, but in moments like this, I well remembered who and what he was. Alucard was fast on his sword as he was on his feet. There were moments he disappeared in a blur, a serrated gust whipping through the air as hell beasts fell spouting blood from mortal wounds. Sometimes it was him, sometimes it was his sword zipping through the air, same result either way. He never sunk his teeth in anything either. Maybe that's just a myth, but he didn't have to. He decimated the monsters as quickly as they came. Of course, things started to change when those Hellspawns noticed me. Gun! Alucard commanded. Hey! The beasts came onto me in a flurry of fangs and feathers. I screamed, smacking them down with my staff, cracking necks and shattering bones. Smell-like. Smell-like. Come on, you stupid thing. Work your damn magic. I curb-stomped a goat demon, caving its skull in with the butt end of my staff. Alucard rushed to my aid, floating above the ground like a poltergeist. A large, panther-like demon pounced and crashed onto him, pinning him down with great claws. Alucard twisted around, clawing and snapping at the creature like a feral beast. Let him go. Magic surged from the core of my heart up my arm, channeling through the staff in a blinding white beam. It vaporized the demon on impact. No evidence left but a cloud of white ash. I ran to Alucard and helped him up. Together, we fought the night creatures side by side. By magic sword and mystic staff, the lunar eclipse waned, and with it, the night creatures' power. Yet that made them more desperate. Alucard was tiring out, and the monsters took notice. They came at him faster, seizing the opportunity. Alucard, younger, getting it out. So, the vampire lord snarled with bared fangs. He slashed and clawed the demons with ebbing strength. My staff pulsed in my grasp, and my sight became grey, as if the color faded from the world. Deep within my soul, I knew what I had to do. I raised my staff above my head and channeled the ethereal magic coursing within my body like a stormy ocean through my weapon. My entire sight and sense of being was blinded by a divine light. Every demon with our radius vaporized, and the remaining stragglers hovering close enough fled like screaming banshees. The lucky few stood before us, cowered like animals. Though the glowing veil of the world, they appeared as black smudges. Leave, I bellowed in a language unknown to man or vampire. The remaining beasts took off like the literal bats out of hell that they were. I turned around at the slight whisper of my name. Alucard was the only clear sight in my glowing, illuminated world. I have never seen him look so scared. He reached a hand out to me and softly spoke my name. I was overjoyed he was okay, albeit scratched and bloodied, but when I reached out for him, I held back a scream. Glowing runes traced across my forearms of a language I didn't know, and in that moment, my regular sight returned. I collapsed onto the ground, nearly passing out when Alucard caught me in his arms. You never cease to surprise me, little one. I closed my eyes as he carried me back into the castle, barely possessing the strength to even wiggle my toes. He set me back in my bed, shifting me into my nightgown and tending to me despite being wounded himself. You should help yourself first. I'll be fine, I rasped. My wounds are already healing. Alucard responded quiet. Wyatt! Indeed, his scratches already look like old scars. Thank you. No problem, I murmured, laying down and sinking into my pillow. I heard his footsteps move towards the door. Alucard? Yes. Can you stay with me for tonight? I'm afraid they might come back, and I've barely the strength to hold my staff. I touched my forearms. And I don't want to be alone. Of course. It occurred to us there wasn't anywhere for him to sleep. You can sleep with me, I suggested before blushing at my words. I mean, sleep with me in the literal sense, like the speakers do, for protection and comfort among their comrades. I understand. Alucard chuckled with a smirk. Let me put on my nightclothes. I'll be back shortly. I was already curled up and cozy when the door creaked open again. Are you going to hog the whole blanket? Sorry. I unfurled it open for him. The bed dipped when he sat down and shifted gingerly into bed. I promise I have no intentions. He spoke, settling in beside me. I'm not that kind of man who would take advantage of a woman like that. I know. I smiled, giddy in my face and stomach. Thank you. But for staying with me, you're welcome. He nestled into the bed. The night passed and we drifted into peaceful slumber. Alucard kept his distance, giving enough space between us as he could, acting the chivalrous knight. In the end, we both ended up nestled cozily against one each other without intention. My chest became a warming fire when I stirred to feel sleeping. Alucard wrapped his arm around my waist. His other arm draped on top of mine, gently holding my hand. In the now silver moonlight, I saw the scars tracing up his forearm, a complement to the silver markings now woven on my own.